Hi everybody, my name is Sharmila. I'm the founder and creator for Fame Beauty, and welcome back to the official Fame Beauty YouTube channel. This is episode 2 of the Behind the Rebirth series, and today we're going to talk about gender affirming beauty. We are currently in the relaunching process, and one of the things I really want to do is make my focus more known and make sure that people know what my brand is actually about, because even though we want to cater to so many different people, we still want to have a focus, and we still want to make sure that people who align with our values become part of our community. So we're going to do some makeup, we're going to talk about gender affirming beauty, and yeah, let's go. So the look for today is mainly graphic liner, glowy skin. So we're gonna focus on that today. The first thing I'm gonna do is take a little bit of orange color corrector and a flat foundation brush. Just use that under the eyes, anywhere where I have some more purple or blue tones in my face, just because I like to correct those tones for myself. Now let's go in with a little bit of foundation and a flat top foundation brush. Just start buffing that into the skin. Immediately you can see the blue tones disappear and my skin tone become one. So I think let's start with what is gender affirming beauty. Gender affirming beauty is not at all trying to reinforce gender roles or stereotypes or trying to uphold Western heteronormative beauty standards. There are just certain techniques that work for your face that can make certain features look softer or more harsh and defined, make you feel good and more comfortable, and that is what we see as gender affirming beauty. This idea of gender affirming beauty really came from my own transition, but also just seeing people around me and seeing things that they would use. I learned a lot from drag kings and drag queens, but also trans and non-binary people, just learning how they shape their face, what shapes they will use on their face to create certain personas or certain looks. Skin is looking glowy. Let's do some concealer because these under eyes, I haven't been sleeping much. I do feel like taking up the space to really focus on gender affirming beauty is something that will hopefully change some things in the industry, because trans people, especially trans and queer people of color, have always influenced the fashion and beauty industry. A lot of things come from Black culture, Black trans culture especially. I mean, when we're talking about contouring, that whole technique that people thought was invented by Kim K literally came from drag queens and trans women, specifically trans women of color. But because people are erased, those trends are taken away. Let's do a little bit of shaping with some cream bronzer, because these cheekbones need to be defined. Now, to us as a brand, it's been really important to focus on gender affirming beauty, not necessarily because we are one of the only brands who do this, but because there is such a need for a place that wasn't focusing on those beauty standards. Because those beauty standards that we know today were made up by, you guessed it, white men. A lot of the beauty standards that we have are rooted in racism and fatphobia and transphobia. They're all intertwined. They're all interlinked. They're all so close to each other, and a lot of the beauty standards we put upon trans women are also put upon cisgender women of color. It's something we can't forget. And here, we really just want to encourage you to express yourself with makeup in whatever way you feel like. Even though there are techniques to makeup and a philosophy to how you can apply your makeup, how products work with each other, and so on, makeup has no rules. You can apply makeup in whatever way you want to. And some people are going to like it, and some people are not going to like it, and that's okay. But here, we really want to make sure that you find techniques that work for you. Makeup is such a personal thing, and I feel like a lot of the time, because we are so prone to doing things that we see online, that we see around us, even though taking inspiration can be really helpful, it doesn't necessarily bring us forward. Let's add some cream blush. Ooh, I like that. Oh my gosh, I love blush. And then lastly, before we move on to the eyes, I'm just gonna set the under eyes and places where I do feel like makeup tends to move around a little bit more with a bit of translucent powder and a puff. I kind of roll the powder into the skin just because it gives me a little bit more control of how I apply the product. Let's move on to the eyes. And the first thing I'm going to do is take a small brush and just add a little bit of bronzer on the eyelid and into the crease. And this is just so I have a little bit of extra definition under the liner. Now we're gonna try something. I'm gonna try and do liner while talking to you. There's one thing I am still getting used to. It's graphic liner, but I want to challenge myself because that is also a really big part of gender affirming beauty. It's experimenting. It's trying new things and seeing how you like it. Taking a small brush and an orange water activated liner. And we're just gonna start at the front of the eye socket and create a rounded line. It can be pretty thick. I don't care about that. And just follow the shape of my eye socket, and then in a rounded edge, try and connect it to the outer corner of the eye. And this doesn't have to be perfect. Just take your time, do it slowly, and especially keep Q-tips close to you. I think it's also good to talk about my personal journey in gender affirming beauty, and especially letting go of these beauty standards, because it isn't easy. It is a journey. It is a constant unlearning and learning of how you view yourself, but also just how you see society treating you or treating people who look like you. For me, one of my biggest insecurities was my nose. I hated the fact that I had a big nose, but now it is truly my pride and joy. I love my big nose. I love having all of these features because they make me me, and they are a part of who I am and my heritage. Okay, then next we're gonna go in with some purple pastel liner and a small liner brush, and we're first going to start by creating a swirl pattern around the orange shape. I still have to determine kind of how I want to do it, but I think I'm going to start by just creating some pinpoints of where I want the swirl to go. And the best part about this is you can easily correct the placement and then just take a Q-tip and clean up. So one thing I can tell you, please, please, please do not try to focus on symmetry, because you will be pissed. You will be absolutely pissed, especially with liner. Liner is one of the hardest things to do in makeup anyway. I still find it very hard to do on myself. I think this way of mapping out where you want things to go is a really good way of determining the shapes you want to use. And now we're just gonna connect the dots. I don't always wanna go over the orange liner, but we're first gonna start by connecting the two front purple dots. It's kind of like half moon shape. The other on this side as well. That's number one. And like I said, you can still correct it. You can still perfect it after. Take your time. Now this look, like I said, is something I'm not really used to because I don't necessarily wear graphic liner a lot, but I think experimenting with makeup is like one of the best ways to figure out how you want to express yourself to the world if you want to wear makeup. You can remove makeup. It's nothing permanent. You can just paint something on your face, and if it doesn't look good, you can wash it off. So I think I'm gonna connect the liner to my actual lash line with the purple, just so I can see how that all looks. I'm just gonna create more of an angular triangle shape, create more of a traditional graphic liner. I really like the effect it gives to my eyes. It's something different, but you know what? I like it. Oh, we have finished the liner. I'm still kind of getting used to it just because I don't normally wear liner, but I like it. I think it's really cute. Now let me add just a little bit of liquid highlight because I want to feel extra glowy today and really get the girls what needs to be gave. I want to emphasize a few last things about gender affirming beauty and especially how we as a brand want to approach it. Just because I don't want there to be any misconceptions and to feel like I'm contributing to this binary standard that we have, because gender affirming beauty and gender affirming things are not exclusively to trans and non-binary people. A lot of things are gender affirming. Makeup in and of itself is a gender affirming thing for a lot of different people. For cisgender women, it's also something that is gender affirming. Just because we focus on gender affirming stuff does not mean we only work or focus on trans and non-binary people. Gender affirming things are for everyone. You are all welcome at Fame Beauty. You are all welcome to experiment with your gender expression and to experiment with the way you look, as long as you are intentional about it and you make a conscious decision to try something because it makes you feel good, not because you feel like you have to. Now, I'm gonna add a lip off camera. It's nothing special, just a nude. I'll be right back. Okay then, that is the whole look. I hope you enjoyed watching it. Before I go, one last announcement for those who are in real time. At the time of posting this, it is one more week until our new website will be online with our new products available for pre-order. Stay tuned over on our social media channels to stay updated, and of course here on YouTube as well. And who knows? Maybe I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!